All right, good evening. I'd like to call the Zoning Board of Appeals for Tuesday, January 16th, 2024 to order. Will the city call the roll, please?
Ms. Defoe.
Here.
Mr. Friedman.
Here.
Mr. Rogers.
Here.
Ms. Libet.
Here.
Mr. Havas. Madam Chair, you have a quorum to conduct business.
Thank you. Are there any communications?
None at this time.
Okay, so we will move into our public hearing. For those of you who haven't joined us before, let me briefly describe how we conduct business. Basically, the city calls the case by the case number. They read a brief summary of the case. We ask the appellant to step up to the podium, state your name and address for the record. There's also a sign-in sheet, which also asks for your name and address, if you could sign in as well. And if there's more than one person, we need both people to introduce themselves and state their name and address for the record. And then describe to the board what you're asking for and why. Then the city will read findings of fact. We'll ask you to agree with those facts or add any other facts at that time. Then there'll be a staff recommendation. Again, you can add anything else you'd like to add after that recommendation. Then we'll turn it over to the public. So if you're here from the public to speak on a case, that would be your opportunity to step forward to speak. Then we'll turn it over to the board to deliberate, make a decision, and then move on to the next case. And you're free to leave after your case has been heard. So will the city call the first case, please?
Madam Chair, this case has been tabled as of November 21st. Case 23-23, the appellant Cassandra Ward, owner, is requesting the following from the board: a variance of the required roof appliance enclosure. The property is located on the north side of 10 Mile Road between Telegraph and Berg Roads, Sidwell parcel 2420477-015, zoned B3, general business. This appeal is to the section 5.33, subsection 4, article 4, chapter 45 of the Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the zoning ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Is the appellant here? Yes. Oh, okay, yes, sorry. Can I have a motion to remove case 2323 from the table and onto this agenda, please?
I move that we, second.
All right, thank you. It's been motioned and seconded. All those in favor, aye?
Aye.
And, okay, that carries. All right, is the appellant present? Seeing none, has anybody been in touch with the appellant? Okay. Do we want to make a phone call? That's usually been our next step. You call. I'll give you a minute to do that. Yeah, we could also set it aside and see if they show up. They are at the top of the agenda.
Do we need a motion for that?
Yeah, we do. But let's see if we can reach her real quick. Yeah, yes, we can. You want to make a motion, Ms. Libet, and just set it aside for, move it to the end
I
of the agenda?
move we move case number 2323 to the bottom of the agenda and proceed on with the others.
Okay, can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, well, the city call the next case, please.
Yes, ma'am. Case 23-30, the appellant Patrick Ryan, Director of Public Works, representing the owner of the city of Southfield, is requesting the following from the board: a variance of 29 feet of side yard setback to construct a storage building, 50 feet required, 21 feet proposed. The property is located on the south side of Clara Lane, east of Franklin Road, Sidwell parcel 2417326. 005 at 25501 Clara Lane, zoned RC Regional Center. This appeal is to the section 5.194, article 22, chapter 45 of the Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the zoning ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Is the appellant here? Please step to the podium, and if you'll both state your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Patrick Ryan. I'm the Director of Public Works for the City of Southfield. My address is 25501 Clara Lane in Southfield. I'd like to also introduce Chris Ozog, who is also representing the city from OHM Engineering and Architects. And we're here to answer any questions or
Okay, could you just briefly describe to us what you're asking for and why, please?
Yeah, sure. So, again, Chris Ozog, OHM Advisors, we worked with the city the last few years to work on a storage building, to take all the equipment that's currently stored outside or in miscellaneous spaces and combine it. So through understanding what equipment they have, we sized the building, located it so it can be accessed and in right areas and, you know, relating to the rest of the site. And this is the building size that we came up with. We're asking for a 29-foot variance. We do have the 21 feet out of the 50-foot that's required, so.
Okay, thank you. Will the city read the findings of fact, please?
For ZBA case 23-30, the appellant, Patrick Ryan, Director of Public Works, representing the owner of the city of Southfield, is requesting the following from the board. A variance of 29 feet of side yard setback to construct a storage building, 50 feet required, 21 feet proposed. The property is located on the south side of Clara Lane, east of Franklin Road, Sidwell parcel 2417-326005, address 25501 Clara Lane, zoned RC Regional Center. The subject property is developed with the City of Southfield Department of Public Works yard. The properties to the north across Northwestern Highway and south are zoned RC Regional Center and are developed with the Galleria Office Center and Regal Towers apartment complex. To the east is right-of-way for Northwestern Highway, Telegraph Road, and the I-696 connector. Property to the west is zoned EROM, Education Research Office Limited, and is developed with the Regency Office Park. The total site contains 10.34 acres of land with approximately 99 feet of frontage on Clara Lane and is triangular in shape. The approved site plan indicates the construction of a 67.5-foot by 131.4-foot storage building to be located on the northeast side of the existing salt dome. The approved elevations indicate pre-finished metal siding with fixed windows, overhead doors, and a pre-finished standing seam metal roof. The proposed storage building was proposed and approved in a location that would be the least visible from adjacent properties. The RC Regional Center zoning designation requires a minimum side yard setback of 50 feet with a 21-foot side yard setback proposed from the northeast property line. The nearest property to the northeast is over 1,350 linear feet away across 18 lanes of fast-moving traffic originating from the M10 I-696 East Connector, eastbound I-696, M10 Telegraph Road Connector, and Northwestern Highway Service Drive.
Okay, thank you. Do you agree with those facts?
yes, we do.
Okay, are there any other facts you'd like to add at this time?
Just that this is much necessary, and the city has been planning this for about 15 years, and we're looking for the okay. It's also one of the first times, thanks to the new building commissioner, that the city is following the rules and regulations it sets forth for everyone. So we appreciate all the work the building commissioner has done.
Great, thank you. Will the city read the staff recommendation?
Staff recommendation is to approve based upon the following. The variance request will have minimal adverse effects on the surrounding properties and will improve the aesthetics and functionality of the site by enabling additional interior storage space on the site. The building is located behind the existing salt dome closest to the northeast side property line, and the nearest neighboring property to the northeast side property line is over 1/4 mile away and across several lanes of traffic. The proposed setback variance for the proposed storage building is in keeping with the spirit and intent of the zoning ordinance.
Great, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add at this point? Otherwise, we'll open it for public comment, so if you just stay near the front in case we have any questions.
Sure.
So we're going to open public comment. If anyone from the public is here to speak on this case, this would be your opportunity to step forward. Okay, seeing none, we'll close public comment and turn it over to the board. Ms. Levitt?
I'm fine with it.
Okay, Mr. Rogers?
I'm perfectly happy with the recommendation from the city.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Weigand? Sorry, wow, Mr. Friedman, I apologize.
Yeah, I have no issues with it.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. I think there's minimal impact. So, let's see, Ms. Libet, will you make a motion for us?
Sure. Regarding zoning board case number 2330, the appellant Robert Ryan, Director of Public Works, representing the owner, the City of Southfield, is requesting the following from the board. A variance of 29 feet of side yard setback to construct a storage building, 50 feet required, 21 feet proposed. The property is located on the south side of Clara Lane, east of Franklin Road, Sidwell, parcel number 2417-326-005 at 2501 Clara Lane, zoned regional center. And I move that we approve the variance requested based on the following. The variance request will have minimal adverse effects on the surrounding properties and will improve the aesthetics and functionality of the site by enabling additional interior storage space on the site. The building is located behind the existing salt dome closest to the northeast side property line. The nearest neighboring property to the northeast side property line is over a quarter-mile away across several lanes of traffic. And the proposed setback variance for the proposed storage building is in keeping with the spirit and intent of the zoning ordinance.
Thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, your request is granted. Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Absolutely. Will the city call the next case, please?
Yes, ma'am. Case 23-31, the appellant Vincent Arrow, representing the owners LEAL Investment and FX Southfield, Michigan LLC, is requesting the following from the board. A variance of 25 feet 7 inches of building setback on the north side of the building, 40 feet required, 14 feet 5 inches provided. A variance of 14 feet of building setback on the south side of the building, 40 feet required, 26 feet provided. The property is located at the southwest corner of Northwestern Highway and 12 Mile Road, Sidwell, parcel 2418-226-051 and 036, located at 28830 and 28844 Northwestern Highway, Zone B3, General Business. This appeal is to sections 5.169, subsection 2, C, and 3, Article 18, Chapter 45 of Southfield City Code, more commonly known as the zoning ordinance.
Thank you. Hi, good evening. Good evening. You could each state your name and address for the record, please. And you're going to need to
Yes.
come real close to the mic, please.
Alan Soroki, I represent FX Southfield LLC and Southfield MI, LLC. My address, you're asking for my home address or the property address?
Business address is fine.
Business address, well, it's the same, my home address. 29231 Wellington Street, Farmington Hills, Michigan, 48334.
Okay, thank you. And
Good evening, Vincent Oro, representing LEL Investments. Address is 6340 St. James Drive, West Bloomfield.
okay, thank you. And can one of you please describe to us what you're asking for and why?
So we're asking for a variance.
Come right into the mic.
Sorry. We're asking for a variance to existing setback, or a building with an existing setback. I think we have 14 feet, which is required, I think 40 feet. This went in front of City Council. It was in favor. There's a previous layout that was proposed to knock down the whole entire parcels, both parcels, and construct a new gas station. But with this layout, had much favorable, getting rid of 4 curb cuts. So I know they were in favor of it, traffic-wise. Everything was much better with this layout. The only issue was this setback variance that we needed to make this layout work.
Okay, thank you. Will the city read the findings of fact, please?
For ZBA case 23-31, the appellant Vincent Oro, representing the owners LEAL Investments and FX Southfield, Michigan LLC, is requesting the following from the board. A variance of 25 feet 7 inches of building setback on the north side of the building, 40 feet required, 14 feet 5 inches provided. A variance of 14 feet of building setback on the south side of the building, 40 feet required, 26 feet provided. The property is located at the southwest corner of Northwestern Highway and 12 Mile Road, Sidwell parcels 2418, 226-051 and 036, located at 28830 and 28844 Northwestern Highway, Zone B3 General Business. The properties to the north across 12 Mile Road are zoned B2 Planned Business and B3 General Business and are developed with the Franklin Point Medical Center and vacant Huntington Bank respectively. The properties to the south across Northwestern Highway are zoned B3 General Business and are developed with the Casa de Monte Cristo Cigar Lounge and the American Eye Institute. The properties to the east are zoned B3 General Business and are developed with Allegra Printing and the Wash and Play Coin Laundry. Properties to the west across Northwestern Highway are zoned B3 General Business and are developed with a Family Dollar and Starbucks. The proposed site contains 1.1 acres of land with 357.71 feet of frontage on 12 Mile Road, 443.43 feet of frontage on Northwestern Highway, and a depth of 262.22 feet. The recently approved site plan proposes the demolition of the existing retail and dry cleaner buildings, conversion of the existing FedEx building into a gas station and convenience store with outside dining area, and the construction of new pump islands with canopies and landscaping and other associated site amenities. 6 existing curb cuts between the two properties will be consolidated into 2, one each on Northwestern Highway and 12 Mile Road. The proposed canopy will meet current structure setbacks of 40 feet along both the Northwestern and 12 Mile property lines. However, the existing building will not meet the 40-foot setback requirement for gas stations in the B3 district, as gas station uses require a larger setback, 40 feet on all sides, which is larger than standard commercial retail uses within the district. The existing building with retail use required a 25-foot front yard setback, 26 feet existing, and a 15-foot rear yard setback, 14 feet 5 inches existing. The building was constructed in 1979. It appears that the rear yard setback is currently legal nonconforming by 7 inches on the north side. The proposed landscaping and pervious surfaces on site will double from what currently exists. Approximately 8,860 square feet existing and approximately 18,000 square feet proposed. The approved landscape plan indicates the addition of 15 new trees along street frontages, 351 shrubs, perennials, and ornamental grasses. Original plans indicated the primary gas station convenience store building to be constructed on the east side of the site, which would eliminate the need to obtain setback variances. However, upon initial phase environmental testing and research, site and soil contamination has been found on the easterly portion of the site. Building the primary structure on the easterly portion of the site to avoid variances could be considered an unnecessary hardship in the appellant, as it would disturb a larger area of contaminated soils, adding significant time for remediation to the construction timeline. The petitioner is also facing practical difficulty in meeting setback requirements due to the irregular size of the property. The unique circumstance pertaining to the shape of the property and difficulty to adhere to required setbacks on the property is shared by one other B3 zone property within the immediate area. The American Eye Institute, located to the south of the subject property at 28905 Northwestern Highway, obtained building setback variances to permit a zero lot line along with parking and landscape area variances, which were also due primarily to the irregular lot shape. And these variances were granted as part of ZBA case 91-17 on May 21st, 1991.
Okay, thank you. Do you agree with those facts?
Yes.
Okay, are there any other facts you'd like to add at this time?
No.
Okay, will the city read the staff recommendation, please?
Staff's recommendation is to approve the requested variances with the following condition. A lot consolidation combination of the two subject parcels must be approved by the Southfield City Assessor's Office prior to issuance of a building permit. This recommendation is based upon the following. The variances requested will have no adverse effects on the surrounding properties, especially because the building has retained the same building setbacks since its original construction in 1979. Redevelopment of the site will provide added benefit to the surrounding properties. Proposed landscaping upgrades will provide additional buffer area between the building and street frontages and will vastly improve the aesthetics of the site. Driveway consolidations and the resulting traffic flow pattern will further improve both the functionality of the site and area in general. Strict compliance with the setback requirements for gas stations in the B3 district would pose an unnecessary hardship on the appellant. To meet required setbacks, the building would need to be relocated east to the wider portion of the property where contamination exists, the remediation for which would add significant time to the development timeline. The appellant is facing practical difficulty due to the irregular shape of the lot. The only area property with similar zoning and physical characteristics was granted comparable building setback variances in addition to parking and landscape variances as part of ZBA case 91-17 in 1991. If granted, the variance is requested, resulting in minor relaxation of ordinance standards would provide substantial justice to the appellant and would be consistent with the spirit and intent of the zoning ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to add at this time?
No, thank you.
Okay. Just, if you don't mind staying near the front in case we have any questions. But now we will open public comment on this case. If there's anyone wishing to speak to this case, please step forward, as now would be your opportunity. Okay. Seeing none, we'll close public comment and turn it over to the board. Mr. Rogers?
It seems to be a useful development, and I do, appreciate what the city of Southfield is given their opinions about it, which I agree with, so I would accept these variances.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Libet?
I would accept them too. That would be a nice addition to that corner.
Okay. Mr. Friedman?
Yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. The buildings already exist. That hodgepodge of buildings is not very attractive. A gas station should be great right there, and since the building exists, I don't have any issues with it being used with something that it needs a variance. So.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. There is a hardship there since the building does already exist and it's been there for quite some time. So let's see, Mr. Rogers, will you make a motion?
I'll try.
In regards to ZBA case number 23-31, the appellant Vincent Aro, representing the owners LEAL Investments and FX Southfield MI LLC, is requesting the following from the board. 1, a variance of 25 feet 7 inches of building setback on the north side of the building, 40 feet required, 14 feet 5 inches provided. And 2, a variance of 14 feet of building setback on the south side of the building, 40 feet required, 26 feet provided. The property is located at the southwest corner of Northwestern Highway and 12 Mile Road. Sidwell parcels 2418-226-051 and -036 located at 28830 and 28844 Northwestern Highway, Zone B3 General Business. I make a motion to approve these variances with the following condition, that a lot consolidation combination of the two subject parcels must be approved by the Southfield City Assessor's Office prior to issuance of a building permit. I make this motion based upon the following. The variances requested will have no adverse effects on the surrounding properties, especially because the building has retained the same building setback since its original construction in 1979. The redevelopment of the site will provide added benefit to the surrounding properties. Proposed landscaping upgrades will provide additional buffer area between the building and street frontages and will vastly improve the aesthetics of the site. Driveway consolidations and the resulting traffic flow pattern will further improve both the functionality of the site and area in general. Strict compliance with the setback requirements for gas stations in the B3 district would pose an unnecessary hardship on the appellant. To meet required setbacks, the building would need to be relocated east to the wider portion of the property where contamination exists, the remediation for which would add significant time to the development timeline. The appellant is facing practical difficulty due to the irregular shape of the lot. The only area of property with similar zoning and physical characteristics was granted comparable building setback variances in addition to parking and landscaping variances as part of ZBA case number 91-17 in 1991. If granted, the variances requested resulting in a minor relaxation of ordinance standards would provide substantial justice to the appellant, would be consistent with the spirit and intent of the zoning ordinance.
Perfect, thank you. Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That is approved. And again, make sure you do your lot combination and then work with the city on anything else that you need, okay? Thank you very much.
Yes.
Have a good night.
Thank you. You know, if I may, I'd like to say something to the city council here. My father bought this building 50 years ago, and I've owned it for the last 20 years. And I'd like to say that the council members here in the city of Southfield have done a magnificent job in allowing businesses to flourish and allowing businesses to survive in this great city. And as far as, you know, I really commend you guys on what the job you're doing.
Thank you very much.
I agree with that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night. Okay, so we have case 2323 back at the bottom of the agenda. So were we able to reach the appellant?
We were not,
Okay,
Madam Chair. We made an attempt to call the number that was on the application and
Okay.
with no success.
If I may ask, why did we untable it tonight? We just tabled it to the next meeting?
That was my understanding, yes.
If I might, through the chair to Mr. Friedman, yeah, on the November 21st meeting, it was recommended or asked to table the case to the first available meeting in January.
But was that the only contact with the appellant since then?
I'm not sure if I might direct that to the building department. I'm not sure if the appellants were notified again or sent a legal notice.
I did reach out to them, it was last week, and we didn't do a new legal notice for them.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because it was tabled. Yep,
That's
I
right.
reached out to them and didn't hear back.
Is there any reason why we couldn't table it further to another meeting?
I don't see why we couldn't.
yeah, I don't think we have any additional information. There was nothing additional in the packet and we haven't heard.
No,
from
but
them, so-
I believe according to our rules, we
Yeah.
can deny
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
the
we can,
motion.
for them not being
Yeah.
here. we
If
can
I,
deny
if I
it.
might, through the chair, well, to the board, it is the board's prerogative to dismiss it with prejudice, and they would not be able to apply for it again. I mean, I've had quite a bit of contact with them. They were understanding that it was going to be, you know, the first available meeting. I'm not sure if they reached out to Brianna. I know that there was some, you know, FOIA questions and things like that. But it sounds like Nicole did also leave them a message and didn't hear back. It's obviously up to the board, but,
I mean, I would support tabling it to the next,
So would
you
I.
know, like a month from now, and we can try to reach them again, and if we don't hear from them at that point, then we can make a decision on the case. So, do you want to make a motion?
I move that we table this, retable this case to the next meeting.
Okay, do you have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
So would that be,
I was just going to ask for the clarification of the meeting date.
I think it'd be February 20th.
That's if there's a case, isn't it? So,
Maybe,
Madam
so,
Chair.
yeah, most likely February 20th, maybe
if you
later.
piggyback then on that,
No, so later, so it'd be in March.
maybe Mark, yeah.
Okay, so it'd probably be March.
And then we can,
Okay, so that closes the public hearing, and we have one set of minutes from our December 19th meeting. Anybody see anything? Any changes?
I did not.
I thought there, again, the new team at US Legal Support is doing an incredible job, so thank you. So can I have a motion to approve the minutes for December 19th?
So moved.
And a second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, minutes are approved, and looks like we do not have any cases for our next scheduled meeting, which is February 6th. So can I have a motion to cancel the meeting on February 6th?
So moved.
And a
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
And then February 20th, we had one case.
There was one case, today was the deadline.
Okay.
For that meeting, I did not receive a second case.
Okay, so we'll move that to the next meeting, which would be March something, early March. Okay, so then can I have a motion to cancel the meeting on February 20th?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so that meeting is also canceled. Anyone have any miscellaneous? Nope, Okay,
If-
can I have a motion to adjourn at
Wait,
7? Oh,
If
sorry,
I might,
Sarah.
I'm sorry. So the case that was just tabled again, that was tabled to then, that would be the March 5th meeting? Is that what the intent was? Okay, all right. I'm sorry. I just
Yep.
wanted
No, that's okay.
clarification so
Yep.
that we make sure we tell them the correct date.
Yep.
Okay, great, thank you.
Okay, so can I have a motion to adjourn at 7:31 now, Sarah? Just kidding.
Move adjournment.
And
Second.
Thank you. We are adjourned.